Whoops, so sorry, y'all. I had to change the batteries in my mouse. I was like, what in the heck is going on? I didn't know. I didn't know. Hello, Miss Janice. Hello, hello. Hello, Dawn Emery. Hello, Rhonda. Hello, Donna. Hello, hello, everybody. Y'all sitting here going, oh my God, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I didn't know. And y'all don't want me pushing the buttons up here because, honey, I just don't even know. I don't know where we would have been. I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong with my mouse? But that's what's wrong. I got it all fixed and squared away. And that's what's happening, honey. So I was a little bit late. Boop. Sorry. Sorry. How y'all doing again this evening? So I get on with it. I'll get on with it. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Welcome. I am, I told y'all I would be back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Y'all hit them thumbs up because I want to make sure that this story gets out. And I know sometimes things are a little bit hard. Hey, Zipper. Hello, beautiful. Hello, hello. Look at that beautiful dog. Hello, hello. So, as always, we always keep Sebastian's name right up here as promised. And if there's any information on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, you know how to hit the buttons or phone numbers and call in tips because we always want to do that for Sebastian. Hey, Raymond Thomas. Hello. Hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, I know these cases are heavy and everything and always on our hearts, but we have another one here. um and I was asked specifically yesterday if I would do this one. And I know there's going to be some documentaries coming out on this one soon. And this one, she has not been found, but hey, Daniel, yo, hello, happy Monday. But this idiot, I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it as I see it. Um, hopefully, he is going to, she's going to get justice. Okay. He's already been charged and yada, 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 all the things. We're going to go through it today. So, you know, we're just going to get into it. And Ziyah Harris is her name. Poor girl. Look at her. She's just a baby. Just a baby herself. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your alibis, grab your notes. Most importantly, just grab your thoughts because I'm sure we got plenty. And as usual, we're going to go over it. You know, I have my thoughts and opinions. We got some videos to watch. We got some things to talk about. I always like to keep their photos up here so you know. And Ziyah is out of Detroit. And this happened in 2024, January 9th. I was thinking about that. I thought this is ironic. I come into the Summer Wells case the day she disappeared, June 15th. It was my birthday. And I was looking at this and I'm like, well, I'll be darned. This little girl right here who went missing after getting off of her school bus on January 9th, 2024. I thought, well, Jesus Louise. They wanted me to do this in January 9th. That's my little brother's birthday. You know, I will never forget this one now. Anyway, we'll just get into it. People want to come in, they can just come in and hit the thumbs up. Just remind them. And sometimes we'll have to put a trigger warning. I'll stop midway and we'll go over some videos. She was just 13 years old from Detroit. How many of y'all have heard of this case? Have y'all heard of it, or have we been too wrapped up in other cases? Have you? Oh, she was. There's a lot of pictures of her too. Hey, German Shepherd Mom. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Again, I was asked to do this yesterday, and I guess throughout the summer they're going to be doing some documentaries and stuff on this. So I don't know what all is going to come, but I do know that hopefully she's going to get justice. He's already locked up. We'll get to all that. But she went missing after getting off of her school bus from Detroit in on January 9th, 2024, at the intersection of Cornwall, 3 and 3 Mile Drive, or I think it was 3 Mile. It might have been something else, but at that intersection right there. And this is a story of 13-year-old Ziyah Harris, a beautiful, smart, bright-eyed, as you can see, young girl from Detroit, Michigan. And her life was stolen. She cried for help. And even before this, her cries for help were just ignored. This is going to be another failure of the system, I believe, as you can hear. And you'll see why in a few minutes. Where she slipped through the cracks, in my opinion, in a system that should have protected her. Now, before I begin, I want to warn you, this story contains some disturbing stuff. It details child abuse, grooming, murder. I'm not going to hide this. I'm going to say it, okay? Hey, Mama, Juicy Jules, everybody coming in. So just please listen with care, okay? And there are trigger warnings. Ziyah was just 13 years old. She had full potential, in my opinion, and she was loved by her family. She was a student, she was a daughter, and she was a child who should have been safe, but she was not. She wasn't. I told y'all, monsters sometimes are around right in your face. On January 9th, 2024, she got off her school bus at the intersection of Cornwall and 3 Mile Drive on Detroit's east side. And that was the last time anyone saw her alive, to my knowledge, from my research to my knowledge. Her disappearance shook that whole city. And what came next through the investigation and the evidence, because they do have evidence, but all circumstantial evidence, but there was evidence, was the ugly, ugly truth. And it revealed some horrifying betrayal. Hey, Drew K. Now, they do have a suspect, and they got him within days. His name is Jarvis Butts. Within days of the investigation, that led them to Jarvis Roman Butts. Jarvis is or was a 42-year-old man, and he was a relative by marriage. He married into the family. Someone who should have been protecting this little girl. You did? Okay, so you can help correct me if I'm wrong. Let's see. I followed this case, and it's sad her family didn't want her. Only reason the grandma kept her was she got a check for her, but she left her by herself every night all night long. Oh my God, that is so sad. Jesus Christ. It's sad. Sad. Will you help me out? I was asked yesterday if I would cover this, and I agreed to it. And I started looking into it, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, I feel so sorry for these kids and what they have to go through. And when when the systems fail them, and especially when it's somebody close, I'm just like, um, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, what went wrong? What goes wrong? She was such a good, smart child and very sweet. She looks like she's very sweet and very smart. So it is sad. So, you know, how sick is this? I mean, a 42-year-old man by marriage, someone we're supposed to trust, but instead he was a predator. Someone you trust, you never think twice about. I never had to think twice about any of my aunts or uncles, and I come from a huge family. People was in and out my house, my grandmother's house, all the time. I never not once had to worry about anybody. Never. What is gone wrong with this world? It's not normal. But unfortunately, in this day and time, we have to make it a normal part of our lives. And unfortunately, we have to make it a normal part of letting our children know that, unfortunately, there's people out there like this that can come in our lives and in our rooms and in our homes and in our kitchens and in our, and so on and so on and so on. And we got to side eye everybody. And one little accidental rub or one little whatever, was that a, oh God, you know, when maybe it didn't mean nothing. And that's sad. That's sad. It should not be like that. It should never be like that. Now that, you know, I always feared as having boys, them being around people, because I didn't want them to be accused of anything. Nor, I'm sure y'all didn't either. You have to be in fear of being innocent and being accused of things these days. I don't want to babysit nobody's kids. I'm just telling you. I don't see how the babysitting, no wonder people can't, don't want to be in the babysitting business. I don't want to keep nobody's kids, honey. Them days are over. You understand me? People, you know, people are mean. They are cruel, and they do. And y'all see this on here. Shit. People can accuse you of anything you didn't do. I don't want to be around none of that. I don't want my family around none of that. Hey, Carol, welcome in. How's your mom? Hello, hello. It's just the evil, vindictive world you're living in, when they really should be worried about these people like this Mr. Butts here. Let's get back on track and start talking about this. But how sick is this? Someone you never think twice about, you know. You shouldn't have to wonder why. You shouldn't have to have these sick thoughts in your head. It's not normal. But unfortunately, in this day and time, you have to make it a normal part of our lives, you know. That's just sickening. We must keep our innocent children safe and unharmed. They should actually be out playing, not having to worry about this stuff. You know, they should feel safe at home. But in this case, Ziyah found, or they found text messages and internet searches and witness statements that revealed a chilling story. Jarvis Butts had been grooming and abusing her since at least 2022. That's 3 years. She was barely 11 years old. Look at her right here. Look at that little face. He had been grooming her for 3 years. She was barely 11. This is so heartbreaking and overwhelming, y'all. He controlled her. He manipulated her. And when it seemed she might have been pregnant, the evidence suggests he took extreme, irreversible action to cover his own butt, his own tracks. Allegedly, Jarvis Butts searched for abortion pills and, get this, red antifreeze. Think about that. Hey, little Reddo. But here's where this case burns even deeper. In 2022, CPS received a report. I don't know who called in the report. It could have been that little girl for all I know. You know, I was thinking about this in Sebastian's case the other day. We talk about, well, the teachers called and this call and that call. We don't know who called. Y'all do know kids can get a hold of that number and call on their own self and anonymous, right? Well, when I was thinking about this, we don't know. Hell, she could have called herself. I know actual kids who've threatened to call their own self. But anyway, we don't know who called. But there was a CPS report received that Butts had touched Ziyah and another child inappropriately. So did her and another kid get together and call theirself? Maybe. We don't know. I'm just throwing out something there. But when they come out, that went nowhere. Okay, nobody took it seriously. No, we don't, Lil Red, because I was thinking about that, and I thought, hell, you know what? It's just like a workforce at school, anywhere. They got these kids can get these numbers. We don't know. They might make a report themselves. We don't know anything. Just because these monsters have them locked down, I guarantee you, just because you think you got them locked down and they can't make a phone call, those are the very ones who can make a phone call. Think about that. You'd be surprised. But anyway, that CPS report went nowhere. And Detroit police never investigated that. Now, Ziyah Harris is gone. And she's still not been found. So thank you very much for that, CPS. They failed her. How many more children all over the world and the states are they going to fail? Yes, and her aunt knew he did this to little girls and stayed with him. I think she had 5 kids with him, but she knew what he was doing, and I think the grandma did too. Smiley, I believe the aunt. Wow. Mm, mm, mm. That is heartbreaking. Helped him get rid of the body because she was spotted in the woods with a large black trash bags with butts. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. That is horrible. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. It's heartbreaking. You know, if it's broken, you fix it. If it's broken, you fix it. If it's not broken, like roads and shit that don't need fixing and all this money spent on it, you don't fix it. Hey, Andrea. But when things like this are broken, that's the stuff, in my opinion, that needs fixing. Imagine if that report had been taken seriously. Imagine if Sebastian's report, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5th report, had been taken seriously. Both of these kids might have been here. What about in Summer's case? God only knows how many reports were made there. If the system had only did its job. This wasn't just one monster hiding in the shadows. It was a system that turned a blind eye. Investigators later found Ziyah's clothing. Her clothing. They found a pink jumpsuit, a black jacket, a red and a black shoe, one, discarded near 7 Mile and Berg Avenue. Her school ID, they found face down on the street. Though her body had never been recovered, the evidence was enough for prosecutors to charge Jarvis Butts with first-degree premeditated murder. And they did. Excuse me. They charged him with that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what they charged him with. They charged him with first-degree premeditated murder, criminal sexual conduct, possession of child sexual abusive material, and some other charges involving minors. They charged him with all that. Okay? There's no body, but they did charge him. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence. The trial is set for, now I think they moved this. I'm not sure. I got 2 different things on this. The trial is set for October 6th, if that still stands. Her family and the community and everybody is watching. We're going to be watching this too, because now I'm really pissed off. Okay, so yes, that is correct. Yep. Ziyah's father, Mervyn Jennings, and her loved ones have been vocal, holding rallies, as far as I know, and speaking to the media. Now, organizations like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children have amplified her case. But let's be real. And this didn't just come from me, but it's a fact. I mean, and it's black girls like her are too often ignored. I don't think there's nothing wrong with me saying that. We don't want her to get dropped through the cracks. That's sad. Hey, Lorraine Law. Hello, Reba. Everybody coming in. She deserves her justice. But now, where's she at? She deserves now to be found. Woo, breaking news. He pleads guilty. Thank you for that. Oh my God. Wow, that is breaking news. Thank you, Carol. I'm going to leave that up there for a minute. Who would have thunk it? Thank you. Wow. Thank you for that. I would have never thought that. That I don't mind being breaking in, because who would have thought that? Wow. Okay. But yeah, the difference is a lot of these don't make national headlines, but this is a big case. Okay? It is. And look, the pleas for national headline and all that should not be dismissed. This is deplorable, what was done to this little girl. We have to do better. We absolutely have to do better. You know, Ziyah, people like her are too often ignored, and this cannot happen. CPS should have done something. Detroit police should have done something. We have to do better. Stop treating their lives like they're disposable. They're not. Ziyah Harris was failed, and one man did this, and one broken system did this. And society is way too comfortable looking the other way. But we won't. We're going to speak the truth. We're going to say their names. We're not going to cover it up and sweep it under the rug. We're going to demand justice. And we're going to watch everything that's going on. We're going to make sure Ziyah is not forgotten. I know a multi-day preliminary hearing concluded January 2025, during which over 40 witnesses, family members, school personnel, DNA experts, and law enforcement all testified. And also, if you still know anything about this case, they still want you to contact the Detroit Police Department or Crime Stoppers and Ziyah's family, whoever's left, whoever's protecting her, whoever's standing up, whoever did right by her. That's who we stand by. You know, and I still want you to get her name out. I want you to get her face out. I want people to get to know this case, because I will continue to cover it. Again, the trial will be coming up. We're fixing to watch 2 videos on this, so y'all can get a little bit more information. And you can do that by hitting the thumbs up, sharing it. It's very important. You know, I think it's important. We need to do these things. She deserves to be told. Her story deserves to be told. Let's see. Yeah, and there is. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this. Y'all drop whatever links these are. Hold on. Let's see. First, I'm going to go back when they did like a press conference at first when she was missing. You probably seen this one, but we'll do this little short.
And thank you for being here. I want to just start off before I bring up Chief Jackson from Detroit Public Schools Police Department into what brought us here today. On February 12th, we had a briefing on this missing child. Yesterday, we had a much more comprehensive and detailed meeting where he brought forth a number of different factors as to what occurred and what they have been working on. We left that meeting with some very serious concerns about Ziyah's safety, and I'll bring up Chief Jackson at this time to give you an overview, and I'll be coming back up to talk about the details. Chief Jackson.
Good afternoon. Back on January 9th, we believe Miss Ziyah Harris did not return home from school. She was a student at Clark Elementary.
Thank you,
January
Raymond.
10th, her family
You got gifted that.
went about the process of reporting her missing. We began our investigation at that point. We began working back, following through her on her last known steps, possible person she was in contact with, some of her school-age friends, gathering different information. As we began to work back through that information with our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, information that we obtained has led us to this point here. At that point, we reached out to Chief White to let him know the developments that we had, and so at that point, we decided that this investigation had kind of gone past the four walls of our building, and Chief White stepped in to help us out. Chief White.
All right, thank you, Chief. So again, after our meeting yesterday, we were very, very concerned. I made the decision at that time that we will take lead on this investigation. We'll be bringing in our local, federal, state partners, a very concerned community, our Board of Police Commissioners, our civic leaders, every single person to assist us in bringing little Ziyah home. That's the goal here, is to do everything we can to bring her home. We have debriefed on a number of different factors. We're hopeful that we find her well, but we can't operate on hope. We have to operate on information, investigation, and work, and that's what we're here to do today with this incredible show of force that we have at this time. I will bring up Deputy Chief Carrie Sloan to talk a little bit about some of the aspects of the investigation at this time, but I will tell you that it is still early in the investigation on our part, although DPS has done a number of different.
Sorry about that. I forgot that. Yeah, I saw that, Abigail. Thank you. Somebody come in here and told me a while ago. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. That cut off. I don't know why that cut off, but anyway, that's just going back. But we're fixing to get to some meat and potatoes of it. Hold on just a minute. Sorry, y'all. My throat is dry today. Let's see. And thank you, Raymond, for that so much. Let's see. Where'd it go? Thing you need to know about. Hold on, I think this is it. Oh, yeah, here it is. Thank you, Raymond. I don't know if you heard me, but thank you, honey.
A mother, and there is a case out of Detroit that has absolutely broken my heart. Let me tell you everything you need to know about why this man has been charged with the death of this 13-year-old little girl. And yes, it's what you're thinking. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that this is a circumstantial case. There's no body, no weapon, and no eyewitness.
Correct.
It says that the cause of death remains unknown, which, Judge, obviously Ms. Quake is getting to one of the main issues in this case and one of the big questions in this case, that I anticipate is going to be a defense argument.
We all know that that's one of the big issues here in this case. So I will
I
admit
agree.
it, with your objection noted.
A little bit of context to set you up. This is Ziyah Harris. She was living with her grandmother, Annette Harris, her aunt, Shannon Harris, and her aunt Shannon's 5
That's
children.
her grandmother.
Ziyah's biological mother was not in her life.
Now, you are Ziyah's maternal grandmother, correct?
Correct,
You're also her adopted parent, correct?
correct.
And you said you adopted her in 2016.
Yeah,
Is her birth mother still around?
she is.
Okay, does she have a relationship with her?
No,
She doesn't have any type of relationship, no contact with her that you know of?
well, let me say this. I don't deal with my daughter, so she really didn't have no contact with Ziyah like that. She only came around now and then.
Now, the father of Aunt Shannon's 5 children is this man, 41-year-old Jarvis Ramon Butts.
Do you have any children?
Yes,
How many kids do you have?
5.
And do all your kids have the same dad?
Yes,
Who's their dad?
Jarvis Butts.
Jarvis has apparently like 13 kids. He works as a mechanic and he owns an auto body shop with this man whose name is Cordell Wright, aka King. And this body shop that the two own and work at is not too far from where Ziyah lives with her grandmother. Police say that on January 9th, 2023, Ziyah gets off her school bus, but instead of heading home to her grandmother's house, she instead heads toward Jarvis's shop.
It is January 9th, 2024, 2:54 p.m.
Now, before she reaches the shop, Jarvis and King see her as they are on their way back from picking up a part from the auto store.
On our way back from AutoZone, I believe we forgot something. So we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone, grabbed whatever we forgot, came back. And on our way back, we was coming down Harper. Jarvis said, "I see my niece right there. She walking." We pulled into Angel's liquor store. I still didn't see her. He pointed across my face, said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time. She got in the truck with us. She spoke, hi King, hi Jay, and we proceeded back to the shop. We started working on the Jaguar, putting the parts back on.
Now, multiple people testify about seeing a little girl with Jarvis on January 9th, the day she went missing, including Jarvis's own sister, who brought her car up to the shop that day.
And what's the reason that you went and talked to Detroit police?
I had reason to believe that I saw Ziyah the day she went missing.
Okay. From the very beginning, where is it that you think you saw Ziyah?
At the shop on Harper Encounters.
Okay, and whose shop is that?
My brother Jarvis Butts and his partner.
So what's the reason you were at your brother's shop that day?
Something was wrong with the car that I was driving, and I just needed him to check it out to make sure it was safe for me to drive.
Okay. Do you recall about what time did you go to Jarvis's shop that day?
About 4 p.m., give or take a few minutes. So I was sitting outside of the shop in my car because they were working on another car on the inside. As I sat there for the time that I was there, I kept seeing a little girl get in and out of his truck, going to the gas station and going back to his car.
Do you get a look at this little girl that you see getting in and out of his car?
I saw her as she was walking. I never saw her face. I just remember her having on a colorful jacket.
Did you know who this little girl was at the time?
No.
And did you ever ask Jarvis who the little girl was?
Yes.
And what did he tell you?
He told me, and I can't remember if it was this exact word, or he said it's my partner's niece, or he said it was King's niece.
Okay, but you knew who he was referring to?
Yes.
Okay. Did you think anything of it at the time?
No.
Okay. Okay, and what is it that made you think something different?
I received phone call, a video call from one of his kids' mom. She told me about some things that happened on Valentine's Day, and then she sent me a video of a podcast about my brother.
So based on those, do you go and talk to someone else?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you go and talk to?
His partner, King.
Okay.
After I mentioned to him that I only saw my nieces and one particular little girl, he then told me that that was Ziyah that I saw that day, and I was there.
What is it that you did after speaking with King that day?
I called Shannon Harris and I asked her for Sergeant Jones' phone number.
Okay. And
Whew. So again, January 9th is the last time that anyone's seen or heard from Ziyah, and Jarvis is the last person that she is confirmed to have been with, which leads me to the second thing that you need to know about this case. And that is, while the case is circumstantial, the circumstances are pretty strong. This picture of Ziyah was taken the day that she went missing. And pay attention to her glasses because it turns out Jarvis asked one of the mother of his children if he could borrow her car. But when he returned it, he left something in there.
when is it that Mr. Butts borrowed your vehicle?
January 9th. He called and asked if he can use my car to do something with his son. I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock, and he came to my house.
Okay. Is that 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.? 9 p.m. When did Mr. Butts return with your car?
The next morning.
Was this normal, abnormal?
No, not normal.
Not normal? Okay. Did you notice anything in the back seat that was different?
There was a pair of glasses that was left that my son was playing with at the time. I believe they were clear around the frame part. I don't know what the ends look like, but I do remember they were clear around the frames.
Okay. So you're at the shop. You see your son playing with the glasses. You take them from him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, tell me, what does Jarvis do?
He snatched them from me and said those were his sunglasses.
Okay.
Police also looked into Jarvis's phone location data to track his whereabouts and conduct some searches along those lines to see if they can find anything connected to Ziyah. And they did.
As we did our workup and we're looking at different locations that Mr. Butts had been to, as we start breaking down the phone mapping a little bit more on Mr. Butts' phone, it kind of led us to 7 Mile and Berg. So 7 Mile and Berg, there is, it used to be a golf course, which is now shut down. And then on the other side of Berg, there's a parking lot where it has like a vacant building, which used to be the clubhouse for the golf club. And then right behind that parking lot is the Rouge River. We searched the complete river from 8 Mile all the way down past 96 on foot with cadaver dogs in boats in the water.
What evidence did you find?
We collected a pink jumpsuit, like bodysuit style, and then a black hoodie that had a pair of white headphones in one of the pockets, some gloves, a towel, and a pair of red, black, and white gym shoes. That is one of the black, red, and white gym shoes that we collected from the wooded area. That is the black jacket that was collected. It is towards the front of the photograph, kind of behind that tree branch. So yes, that is the paper and the pair of headphones that was recovered from that pocket. Okay. So that's going to be the hood of that hooded jacket. We noted that there are several holes in the jacket of unknown origin. That is the pink jumpsuit that we recovered.
So how close was the Rouge River, I guess, to the area that you were searching?
So there was a large parking lot just off of the west side of Berg, and then there was an embankment leading down to the river. I would say less than 500 feet.
Now, the last thing I want to point out concerning these circumstances is that police also believe that they have a motive. Here's a little bit of Ziyah's aunt Shannon testifying about some of that.
Can you kind of describe the relationship between Ziyah and Jarvis?
Should be just the uncle and the niece relationship, no more than that.
And
well, no joke, lady.
On January 20th,
it should be just that.
Officer Gardner came to pick up Ziyah's tablet. My mom asked me to put it on the charger. I put it on the charger. The tablet, before the tablet was picked up, I looked inside to this tablet. So the first thing I went to was Instagram, which I was scrolling. And I seen Jarvis Butts' Instagram page. I clicked on his page and I seen 2 messages.
Were the messages of a sexual nature?
No.
Okay.
It was 2 sent pictures, but you can't really make anything out. There wasn't nothing there, but it was the picture was sent. Called him while he was at work, asked him, what is these messages I seen between you and my niece? And he said, what messages? So there's 2 particular messages that states out and there's a picture. And he stated that, I don't know, on these messages. I told him what the messages were, and he said it was probably our children was messaging him.
Hey,
And I stated no, because I know how our children will text.
All right. Now, this is your warning. Police did access messages between then 12-year-old Ziyah and 41-year-old Jarvis Butts, and it's bad. Really bad.
September 27, 2022, 1:54 a.m. She sent a message, "Where are we doing it at your choice?" A message is replied to Jarvis, says basement. The message is sent to Ziyah from Mr. Butt's phone saying, "Can you suck my please? And make sure you erase the messages. Go change your clothes and take your panties off. Are we doing it tonight? I'm ready, fresh out the shower. You coming over? Don't have school." Asking, "You coming?" She receives a message from Jarvis that says, "Stop messing with people and just be mine. I'm finna go to lunch, love you. I can't stop thinking about you either." She sends a message to Jarvis, "Hey, you may think I'm ignoring you, but I'm not. My phone broke. Are you mad at me? Please don't be mad. Can you tell me why you mad at me, yes or no?" He replies to her saying, "I haven't seen or talked to you." He had sent to her, "I'm at your house." She says, "Damn, we was just there. You bet not be in my room." He sends her a message that says, "I stole your panties. Didn't I make you come faster than ever? Jarvis, I'm sorry for making you mad, but do you ever think how I feel knowing that I can't have you to myself? But you have me to yourself, and no, I'm not seeing anybody else, I swear. Then you going to hit it from the back again? Send me some pictures, please. I want some pussy." And the name on here that she has this number saved is Bae for life, BAE, the number 4, and then life. "Are you naked yet? Come on, Bae, I'm sorry, just not in the mood right now, I'm sorry. I didn't sneak out for nobody, I swear. I know you're having a rough day, but I swear I'm not lying. Why won't you believe anything I tell you? I'm not like other girls, there is no need for me to lie to you. The meaning is you're mine and mine only, and all you're mine and will stay mine. Go take them panties off." He sends a message to her that says, "I'm trying to, can I get my dick sucked today? I just want your body on mine. We doing something or what?" At 01:23, she replies, "I want to lay with you." He replies, "I'm going upstairs." She sends, "Okay, Shan going up there too. Give her some so she can shut up and leave you alone. She only acting like that because she's horny. Come downstairs so I can sit on it real quick. You was right, it hit different outside. Do you like your girls skinny? That's messed up because I was gonna fuck the shit out of you. I still want you to do it." August 4, 2023 at 22:07 hours, Ziyah sends to Jarvis, "Shan and Nana left." Jarvis replies, "Okay, what you saying?" Ziyah then replies back, "What you think I'm trying to say? I want to try something. A threesome. You down for it? Thinking about you. My period haven't came at all. Hello, you there? It have not came." Jarvis replies to her, "Since when?" "Since I was in the hospital. That was last month. I'm scared. I don't know IDK what to do. I have to go to the doctor's TM or tomorrow. You said that you took a pregnancy test and it was negative." She replies, "It did." Jarvis then replies, "So go get another one." "I can't. I have no money." 14:43, she says, "You ain't scared to get a plan B. Get a pregnancy test and bring it later today. Just act like you have to use the bathroom." 14:56, Jarvis replies to her with, "Okay." September 27th, starting at 21:26 hours, Ziyah sends, "But are we still on for Friday?" Jarvis replies, "Yes." "What we doing though?" At 21:49, she sends back. Jarvis replies, "Seriously?" Ziyah replies, "Yeah, what else we gonna do?" Jarvis replies back to her, "Where?" It now jumps to October 21st at 19:05 hours, Ziyah sends, "Hey, babe, I need that plan B today." Jarvis sends her the letter Y.
And now jumping to November 27th.
Ziyah sends, "I just want to talk. I really don't want to lose you. I don't what's your problem, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this gym shit with this baby. And if I don't do them, I'm going to get a F." January 9th, 2024 at 14:21, Ziyah sent to Jarvis, "Don't forget to be there before 3. I will let you know when I'm leaving the school. If you're not there, I will wait. Send okay if you've seen the message so I can delete your number." Jarvis replies, "Okay," and those messages were deleted.
There was no further communication between Ziyah's text number and Jarvis's number after January 9th, 2024, 1 year ago today.
Yes.
All right, so all of that leads me to the final thing that you need to know about this case. And that is that it hasn't gone to trial yet. Everything I just showed you is from the preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is when prosecutors get to present their witnesses and evidence in front of a judge, and that judge gets to determine if there's enough probable cause that this case should go to trial. And that's what happened for Jarvis. The prosecutors presented everything that I showed you and more to the judge. And not only did she determine that this case should absolutely go to trial, she also had some words for all of the adults that were in Ziyah's life.
I have to speak on Ziyah Harris and the community who failed her. From what I have heard over the last 4 days and 5 days total, is that several people failed her. I don't know where her mother is. I don't know anything other than that she was forced to live in a home where she was not protected or given adequate attention and love. I don't know where her father is. I don't have any mention of him in her life, no presence. To Cordell, AKA King, and all the men who saw Jarvis Butts hanging out and always around these young girls, including Ziyah.
An adult should have saw the signs, man.
The shop to clean up the shop. There's no mention of CPS, but I wonder what their involvement was over the years, because this was not just a one-year thing. There are text messages at least from 2022 to her adoptive grandmother, Annette Harris.
Yes, we do, Jack.
In my opinion, was very questionable. I understand why the people put her on the stand to establish Ziyah's residence and the houses on Bedford and the regular routine, to establish also that Ziyah was not a runaway child, that she was not a bad kid. But to always send those girls up there to clean up the shop raises questions. And how were there two women in the house who have birthed children themselves who did not notice that Ziyah was pregnant, and I believe she was, and not having her period anymore? And what stood out the most was when Annette Harris stood on the stand, and she learned around 6 p.m. that Ziyah did not come home from school, and said she looked around for her and decided to wait until the next morning to call the police. Without a tear, without emotion, or any expression of being devastated. And to her Aunt Shannon,
13 years old.
Showed no emotion, expression.
Started at 11.
Going missing. She stated that she had friends help look for Ziyah, but was directed to just wait until the morning to call the police. A grown woman who likely suspected something strange going on didn't feel the need to call the police. They were both able to go to sleep at night without hearing from Ziyah or having any indication that she was coming home that night. As far as the people establishing probable cause, I will focus on count 1 as it's been stated that there is no contention with counts 2 and 3. In count 3, I will amend based off of the motion and testimony I heard that Ziyah was 12 and not 13 at the time that Jarvis Butts had sexual intercourse. Okay. The prosecution is correct. You do not have to have a body to establish first-degree premeditated murder. It would have been a much shorter exam to have her body been found, but this is where we are. In the last 365 days, no text messages. We all heard today and yesterday that she was very active and frequently texting. No social media for years. We heard the testimony that she was also active on social media. No phone calls, which she was also able to do according to testimony. No physical signing of her by anyone. She never came back to school. No one has seen her. Medical records dated from July 2014 to October 2023 indicate that she had no life-threatening medical issues that would lead to a natural cause of death. While this is still probable cause, the evidence all points to Jarvis Butts. His locations, him being seen with her last, the abortion searches, the abrupt silence between the two of them in text messages, and the constant lies he told throughout the entire investigation. We may never know what happened, but from what I heard today and over the last 4 or 5 days, it appears he intended to perform what he thought was a do-it-yourself abortion on Ziyah. They went south, and instead of seeking medical attention for her, he intentionally killed her and tried his best to cover it up. As much as I want her to be alive today, there is at least probable cause to show and believe that she is dead and she was murdered by Jarvis Butts. Mr. Butts, stand up. You've been sitting over there for 4 days with your head down, sitting between and behind your attorney with your mask on and taking vigorous notes. I want you to pay attention and listen to everything I have to say. I have been trying to figure out for the last 5 days, you. At one point, I thought you were cognitively impaired in the beginning of this exam. And then maybe you had the brain of a 10-year-old, and that's why you were doing such things. But as I heard more and more testimonies, you're just a true definition of a pedophile. Watching you laugh and brag about all the women you have with different women and the children and the girlfriends, and making babies to groom them, and having them in your presence, cleaning up your shop, and the little girls around you, has landed you here today. You groomed Ziyah. You played mind games with her. We all heard that. You controlled her emotionally. She was exposed to so much at such a young age. The text messages between you two were disgusting to hear. And to think that she had you saved in her phone as babe for life. Ziyah deserves so much more. And while I mentioned other people that failed her, Jarvis Butts, you were the monster.
Yes.
In this whole picture. She did deserve love from her parents and everyone who was in her life. She was ignored, she was neglected, and you took complete advantage of that. She wanted someone to love her, and she will never know what that feels like. Your children deserve more. As much as the defense counsel has raised issues on count one, all that has done is raise the question of fact for the trial fact, which means that this will be for a jury or judge to hear in third circuit. I pray for the healing of all the victims and young girls and possibly boys who have come into contact with you. As a community, we should look at this case as a prime example of how much work we have to do when it comes to protecting our children and especially our Black girls. I pray for closure and healing for all those who have been traumatized by you. And for you, Jarvis Butts, I wish you a speedy trial and that justice be done.
Oh my God, Karen. I know.
It's January 16th.
Sad.
Anything else for the record?
I'll do the thank you.
Oh my God. Look, y'all drop this link right here of this lady's because she's got a lot of videos on this. I just picked this one and excuse me. I know that was triggering. I am going to follow this case, but I do want to tell y'all, unfortunately, you do have to tell your kids, how do you talk to them about this? You know, my kids are grown and we had to go there a little bit. You know, you have to warn them. Unfortunately, you don't like to scare them. But this day and age, oh my God. And you have to let them know, you know, if they think they're being groomed, you know, you can't trust anybody. And if their gut tells them something and they feel off, then they're right. They're more than likely right. And it's better to be safe than sorry, you know. And they need to know the signs. If an adult or an older, first of all, an adult don't have any business. They don't have any business being friends with adults. Remember, we used to be like, it was cool to hang out with 18-year-olds or, you know, whatever. We don't, that's beyond. We can't do that now, okay? It's not no longer cool. There's no reason children need to be around adults, period. I remember hearing Seth talk about Sebastian when all that came out, and they thought it was cool for Sebastian to be playing with older kids. It's just not. It's not a good idea. It's not. Listen, if an adult or an older person gives you special attention, constant compliments, gifts, money, treats, that's a red flag. If they tell you, you got a hot body. She's got a hot body. Y'all remember that one? or they tell you, you're mature for your age. You're different than the other kids. They shouldn't be telling you that. You want to keep secrets, like hiding conversations and photos and stuff you want to meet up from your family and friends, and, you know, how your parents don't understand you. Come on, let's go for a ride. I can drive. They try to isolate you. You know, they test your boundaries. Jack says, yes, I was one of them kids. That's why I want to. Well, I'm sorry, Jack, and I'm so glad you decided to help instead. Thank you for helping, and thank you for breaking that cycle. See, the cycle, when kids get older, they can make a choice to break it. Because, as you know, they asked to send inappropriate photos. And once these predators are predators and they keep going, it's not something they just wake up to do. They've done it before, and there's no going back, you know. They make you feel guilty if you pull away, or they question why. Right, Jack, and that's great. Thank you. What you should do, or tell your kids to do if you're in this position, don't let them scare you. Don't let them put fear in you, because that's what they're going to try to do. You can make them think you're going to shut up, but you need to do the opposite. Tell a parent, tell a teacher, tell a counselor, tell a trusted adult, because it's not your fault, and that's what they want you to think. If there's any, and this goes for adults too. I hope there's no kids in my chat right now. But if you're an adult, and this goes for victims of the, you know, the sexual stuff that happens to you, save the evidence. You know, clothes, don't wash, go to the hospital. That's just off the top of my head. Text messages, any photos. If you don't have photos and you got bruises, take photos. You know, block these people. If you feel unsafe or uncomfortable, keep notes, keep a trail. That goes for social media, anything. You're not at fault. You're not at fault. I don't care if you know these people, if you're acquaintances. I don't care the situation. It's not your fault. Period. Grooming can happen online, and it can happen in person. It doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how poor you are. Although it does seem to hit those that you know, that are more vulnerable, but it does not matter. If someone decides they're going to cross the line because they're a predator, they're going to cross the line. There's not a particular reason. And I just hope that this helps someone. And I hope Ziyah Harris, I hope that she'll be like Lori Page and that she will be found. And I hope this monster goes to prison the rest of his life. Whatever, first degree, I don't know if death is on the table or not. I hadn't got that far with it. But I'll leave that up to the jury and the judge and all that. Because he'll get his one day from another judge. Thank you for joining me again. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my mods again. I know I'm probably wearing y'all out today. But I did want to get this out. Thank you to the person who sent this to me yesterday. And this is another one I'm going to keep alive. The story, anyway. Hopefully, Ziyah is a beautiful angel. No more pain, no more sorrow. Just thank everybody for being here. And y'all have a great day. Thank you for your support and all your memberships. Thank everybody who got a membership today. And I love you. Love you, Daily Tab. Thank you. And y'all have a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye. And let's go catch up on Kohlberger and see what's going on there. Yeah, may you rest in heaven, sweet angel. Thank you, Jack, for being here. Love you all. Bye.